So guys, we're back with another book review. I know it's been a couple weeks. Was feeling a bit burnt out. I've had a lot of different projects and different things I've had to do, some with school, things like that, and other things that I've had to do. So we're back on the schedule again. We're back on getting everything correct. We've solved the problem of burnout, so now that will not be the case. We're ready to go. All glory to God. But this is the book that I was supposed to read, that I was reading right after I finished Mice of Men. So actually, I think I took a week off from Mice of Men, or I think I started this book immediately, but I lost this book. I put it away. I misplaced it into my car, so I didn't have it for a couple weeks. So I was reading this, and then I was like, yo, where did it go? And then I was like, I don't want to start another book because I didn't finish this book. So then I started The Genealogy of Morality by Friedrich Nietzsche, but then I was like, I'm almost done with this book, and then I found this book, so I was like, I got to get back in this book. So we're back into this right now. February was kind of short, so we're already in like the second week of March, and we have only finished one book. So luckily it's the beginning of the week, so we can kind of catch up. It's almost the 15th, so by the 15th we have to have, because the last video I posted was on the 15th, so that means I was on a Saturday. So the week of the 16th, I should have had a book read. So that's 1, that's 2, that's 3, and that's 4. So we're supposed to have 3 books read by now. So we just did this, so we would have 4, but we read this, so we're supposed to have 3. I'm gonna finish another book tonight, and then I'll have another review out for the next one. But this is The Grounding for Metaphysics for Morals by Immanuel Kant, or Kant. Almost said the wrong word, but Kant. So if you don't know who Immanuel Kant is, he's one of the most influential thinkers in the philosophical space, metaphysical space, in the postmodern era. If you are familiar with any postmodern philosophers or philosophy, he is probably the most influential of them all. We've read The Will to Power, and he is very influential in Nietzsche's philosophical disposition, as well as Nietzsche's understanding. You can tell he set the framework for these things. And the great thing about him is that he set a framework for metaphysics. So if you don't know what metaphysics is the nature of being, reason. So it's kind of like the first thought process of things. And what I mean by this, because this is kind of abstract thinking, is if you think of, for example, like morality, metaphysics would be kind of like the basis of reason, or the basis of morality, good and evil, in a sense of what is it, what is the object, what is the substance, what is the, what is it at all. So it's dealing with things that are not necessarily physical. They are more so, in a sense, metaphysical, obviously, but they're the things that are a part of the world or a part of reality that we perceive, but we can't actually see good. You can see good, you can taste good, you can feel good, but you're never going to hug good. So from a moral perspective, this is what when we're talking about good, these ideas that we have, these concepts that we have, metaphysics is the study of these things and the explanation of those concepts, which are not tangible in the sense that we cannot hold them in our hands like I can hold a mic. So this is the grounding for the nature of metaphysics, or the explanation of metaphysics. If you know another philosopher, which you probably do know, Plato, he's very influential when it comes to metaphysics, and he set the groundwork for metaphysics. We'll be reading his book probably this week as well, because we're kind of in this like theme of metaphysics. We're going to be reading the Genealogy of Morals next with Nietzsche, so I think this is going to be really good. And we're probably going to read some more Immanuel Kant. He actually is pretty good of a writer. I like the way that he's speaking. But yeah, this book is pretty great. It lays a framework It gives you some understanding of reasoning. It explains what reasoning is, and kind of what humans do, and it does give you a lot of formulas to kind of see that and get you aware of that, because I think we take that for granted because it's so integrated in life that we kind of don't understand it. It's kind of like reasoning's almost like, the search engine in Google, or the cursor that we have in our mouths. It's things that you just take for granted that are just a part of the functionality of the system that we're in. And this system is life, or just life in general, because even if you say the intelligible world, like the capitalistic world, or the world of civilization, of more sophisticated civilizations, we have reason. But the same way that less sophisticated, or people that are, I guess, sophisticated in a different manner, like those of the tribal world, they reason the same that we do in a survival sense, in an absolute survival sense. So, like I said, this is a great read. It's not that long. Like I said, I should have had this done a lot faster, but it just was gone. And then, because sometimes when a book is like very short for me, I don't know why, I'm not as intense into it. If I'm reading like a freaking 1,000-page textbook, then I'm like, I gotta get into this and I gotta do it. So this book was a little shorter, but it had a lot of different. It has like 3 different essays. He talks about a lot of different stuff. I think that this is one of the most best books that you could read if you're trying to learn philosophy, and you're trying to learn the basis of philosophy. I think a lot of people have an understanding of philosophy where they believe that philosophy is just what I think about life, in the sense of you do that. It's just very subjective. But this is more so breaking down what things are. Philosophy can be objective, and he showing through the use of metaphysics, and also showing that philosophy, metaphysics, this entire sphere of thought isn't necessarily going to be just about the person. It is about things that are there, and it opens up your eyes to things that we do not see all the time. Like I said, the nature of reality, the nature of good, time, and all these things. And this is a great way to establish that, because it talks about reasoning, logic, thought, emotions, things of that nature, intuition, to kind of give you a framework. I think that you can apply this in the sense that you can give you a framework of what your outlook of life should be in a mental sense, or what you're seeing in a metaphysical sense. I'm trying to use other words, because if you don't know what metaphysics is, you're going to be like, what is he saying? But this will just allow you to look it up so you can understand what I'm saying. But it'll allow you to see life from a metaphysical sense and understand and be aware of metaphysics. And it gave me a good groundwork for that. Like I said, I was more so in philosophy, and philosophy can be a little different than metaphysics itself. Philosophy can be more so when you're looking at groups, social groups, peoples, and how they are. And a lot of philosophers will critique that or just break it down. But this is more so going down to the nitty-gritty of just like what of this, that, and the third. What are all these things that are part of life that are not seen? Nietzsche, like I said, is a little bit different, because we read some Nietzsche earlier in the year, and he's very critical. He critiques a lot of different things, and this isn't a book of critiquing. It's just a book of what is. And so he's not talking about any groups. He's not talking about anything. This is literally just about the morals. So when you're talking about morals, we're not talking about what you should do, what you should not do. The moral law that is good, that is evil, that we are aware of it. Not the ethical part of it, not understanding ethics and saying how you should act upon, or how morality should manifest in reality, or in society, or in nature. We're not talking about those things. We're simply just talking about morals, them as themselves as objects. So good is an object, evil is an object. So I it's a very good read. I would say that I'm gonna probably give it like a 4.5 stars. This was a very good read. It's not that long, so it does have a lot of information, and I think this is a very good beginning entry. And because it's not long and it's a very good beginning entry, this is like a 72-page version, but it's like 60 pages of this. The rest of it is just the index and things of that nature, which just has some information about some concepts, some conceptual information, and some of the things that he's talking about, as well as like some terms that he's using, because this is translated from, you know, he was obviously like, I think he was German. Yeah, he was German. So yeah, great book. I think it's a good book, and I think it'll be a good leeway into the next book that we're going to read, which is going to be On the Genealogy of Morals by Friedrich Nietzsche. So thank you guys for watching. I will see you guys next time. Bye.